Peace FM 104.3. Who to me take?
Said so, Chairman, democracy away, and let nobody misunderstand me. Nyamike is in the context. Sabi end up from in the sense that it is not cheap to practice this form of government. Yeah, try all kinds of governments, and you who say, look, this is the best amongst the lot. We've tried with dictatorship, totalitarianism, authoritarianism, even fascism. At some point, people experimented with it. And who say, amongst the lot, you know, we're the best. But and also, no, it comes with some cost.
Great cost.
Great cost, I would say. Oh, until a more be any say the idea and the notion say people must be given the chance to participate in decision making. No, and people should not also confuse trying to keep the wheels of democracy running, you know, with an attempt to monetize democracy. They are two separate you can say issues. Na near electoral commission for ye media me who say it is almost per se the management of election easy. Like every election management body be a no. Because chairman say see enyefu MOBia. The qualification, the criteria for qualification and the criteria for contesting as a presidential candidate in our constitution, chairman easy. You must be a Ghanaian of 40 years and of sound mind. These are the three criteria SO satisfy. Until obia if we say because you satisfy sa criteria you ultimately be contested until you enjoy obia sika. Chairman, do you have an idea what would have happened? Anka yen nyina yeti we obi do 40% because people Ghana do, in fact Ghana for dream and omo woni studio ho the studio ho no Ghana ni bia woni studio ho na officer Ghana nke ye nsi anke beboa and you would have had all kinds of people coming to say presidents. It would have been unwieldy for the electoral commission to manage. It would have been intractable. And there ought to be some minimum limitations.
Now, minimum limitations and we need to
Chairman, how else would you expect them to do? Because Mrana say you must be a Ghanaian, you must be 40 years, and you must be of sound mind, whatever that means. What is here? And the minimum limitations are midi etuho mima dwimono eyesika. And it serves two purposes. Near kind to show say wow opese utwe as Ghana say when you bri say opese obuman and obua ebugana man. So it helps to sift the serious ones from the non-serious ones.
But how can money be the determinant?
No,
because Oka said to sift the serious from the non-serious.
If you are serious,
one shepherd. Now you are selling to the highest bidder.
No, that averts argument. That I think is a very weak argument. Chairman, we are serious candidate. How many politicians fund their campaigns from their pockets?
That I don't know.
Exactly, not so many. Nientia, easy for politicians to raise and mobilize resources. Edi omu campaigns ni say electorates no who say we are serious and vision a udi atu enim no vision a omu wajidie wom. They themselves will help you raise resources to execute your campaign. But chairman, so was the case them cry now when the electorates feel say when you're serious it becomes difficult for you to have their support. Until elections and yes sikasem, but just to show say adia wuye adia say when you break and that who is you adin hunu bia opese odi bua Ghana man. Chairman, if somebody is not serious about this enterprise, you see 100,000 on back. But chairman, miti weina miniska and I'm committed to a process that will eventually get me elected as a president. I will declare and I will make sure say menyan krofo mo abuami. So this talk about we are monetizing democracy. For me, I think it's a weak argument because they are not in principle against Sikano. Almost quantum no problem.
That is the
point, and I find that logic contradictory. On the one hand, we are monetizing democracy because ye Jessica. On the other hand, Sikandi any problem, but baby, I want no problem. 10,000 I charge in 2012. No, Chairman, ne ye Sika baby maybe mu. So if the argument is said, my emphasica and determine who is serious and who should participate, no, then you might as well say, you can free more altogether.
But Matisse say, in fact, it's been confirmed, so more than 25%. Easy side, you see, can be
Chairman, that's why I spoke about commitment and seriousness. And you say, Electoral Commission, hey, you see, can be a Omu jisikana to her. So to me, a certain percentage. No more do see kanama.
Okay.
Me as when I was the General Secretary, Chairman, I wrote letters to the Electoral Commission and I got refunds because some of our parliamentary candidates, because they ended to mom, they got over 12.5%.
Parliamentary they ended 12.5.
Yes.
And our presidential near 25.
Until me ko jisi can be by.
Okay.
What is here? Until you say omu jisi can be bibi and miti mati ebimo. Eka say, oh, budget of Electoral Commission has been fully approved. Until sikano omu jia ye. Omu enye so omu jisi can ye bibi. And I remember very well. It was now one of the deputy chairpersons, Mr. Tete. He was then in charge of electoral services.
Tete.
Oh, he worked on my check. In fact, on the PNC's check. And I'm going to Until Emma Ebimun Jean said, the electoral commission is an attempt to isolate and to deprive people from participating in this process.
And it's so the amount there.
Only the amount, yes.
How about almost some can cost to about 500,000?
Oh, you see, it is about acting within reasonability.
Good.
Okoka 500,000.
Good.
500,000. Come on. Now design a campaign. Because 400,000 for a presidential candidate. Obet media ABB. And you be
reason is. Ebimu how many also runs. Only money trims and your way.
Yeah.
Oh, nyagme. Ain't you know say oh the to 500.
Yeah.
Or him say yeah. Wait there. Let's forget it. So that omo 19 team form no.
Yeah.
No meet me. I need one part of the argument.
Yes.
The other part says I will kind of say we have to be reasonable.
Yes. But you see, I don't think say 100,000 is unreasonable.
Officer, okay.
Yes. Chairman, within our parties, send a charge presidential aspirants.
MPP was 100,000. NDC came from 420 to 300. Chairman. CPP, according to Kabila and Ra, was 100. But later, only about 80. Yeah.
Now, last election, I think it was around 30,000. This year, the arrangement was at Enco 50,000. But because of COVID, anyone some time, Ekutia NT, or Mati Sikanoso, I'm about 30,000 BM. Now, Chairman, if within your party, would you have 30,000, 100,000, and all of that? Now, at the Electoral Commission level, we see 100,000 also. Not just a one Kazano Sebi. Either as a political entity, Munye, I don't want to say Munye is serious. And now, Sabi, you have other ideas other than wanting to become the president. Because when you have preserved, near me, me per se, to my number president, Chairman, 100,000 should not be a difficulty, not for you as a person,
but for the organization.
But for the organization, Chairman's appears intimidates 100,000 to file for your candidate. Na campaign be anything. Me, what you say? Not just a campaign into me yet.
And as someone you 25% is kind of ashy.
Chairman, you see, the participation of sometimes third parties in this process is not necessarily to win,
but
to sell certain policies. Send a bear. So when we nimpo adventure no, you be win bet media ejuma. But if you don't have a flag bearer, it becomes difficult to advocate those policies.
This FM 104.3. Good to meet you.